Greetings all, thedvsmonkey here. Yes, I know. Last week I said I was gonna try to post at least a few times during the week. Here we are. It's already Thursday of the following week. I have not recovered from my technical woes, although I did get my new phone, got it covered, put it in a case, working great, yay. However, my company laptop, that's a different story. Basically, I went up to Friday of last week without having it working, and I finally thought it was ready to go, and I was like, okay, I relaxed up through Thanksgiving, and the day after on Black Friday, I said, I'm gonna get all my stuff done. I had like a month and a half worth of work to catch up on. I opened up the laptop, and it said, storage device not recognized, and that's all it said on the screen. So after I saw that, I pretty much flipped my shit, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and she suggested that I just take a deep breath and make a list of everything that I needed to do and then start with number one. That's all I had to do. Don't worry about everything that needed to be done. Don't worry about how behind I was. Just make the list and start with number one. That's what I did. I got half the work done before I stopped Friday night, and I got the second half done on Saturday. And that got me almost caught up. Then I did more on Sunday. I thought, okay, I think I'm caught up-ish. I mean, I knew that there was other stuff that needed to be done, but it was way low on the totem pole and I wasn't gonna worry about it. Finally, Monday, I was feeling pretty good. You know, things were looking up, and I was pretty much mostly caught up. And every day this week though, including Monday, because as the day went by, things just got worse. Not necessarily worse, I just had more shit to do. So Monday, thought I was caught up. Nope, more stuff piled on. Tuesday, thought I was caught up. More stuff piled on. It's gone that way every day, including today. Now, I have a couple of big things that need to be done, but I'm just not gonna stress about it because one, that's not doing me any good. Two, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I didn't know I was gonna have to do that, so people are just gonna have to wait. All that said, that leads me into what I wanted to talk about today. It's about prioritizing for you, not for other people. And I've seen a bunch of different videos I'd say in the last 2 weeks that kind of have to do with that. Some of them being, I'm burned out, I'm overwhelmed, all this bad shit happened and I'm not, you know, like I don't want to do any of it. You get the idea? The message on those videos was that everybody experiences burnout, you have to know when to step back, blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of what my message is. In my own slant though, because of why I'm stressed, it all has to do with my day job, you know, and my technology. Who would have thunk that I was gonna drop my $900 phone the second day I owned it and shatter it? Who'd have thunk that I would have reset the password on my company laptop and have it never turn on again? Who would have thought that they would have sent me another laptop that didn't have anything on it that I could use and that it would take 2 weeks and I still don't have everything? You know, like you can't control that shit. It just happens. Yeah, I could have kept a better grip on my phone, but whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like you have to be able to deal with that kind of stuff. The way you deal with it is kind of like what my friend told me. Just step back, take a breath, then make a list of everything that needs to be done and start with number one. How did I choose what was number one? Well, everything that I have to do for my day job has particular phases. I can't do phase 4 or 5 if I haven't done 3 or 2 or 1. So it was pretty clear cut what needed to be done in the order that I needed to do it in, but having it all written out on a piece of paper really gave me some perspective. Because what I did was I made a little box in front of each thing that I wrote down so that I could check it off. Does that sound stupid? Some people might say that it is. Who cares? If you live in a world of priorities and lists and stages and so on and so forth, it's very rewarding to be able to check a box off or to cross that line out, however you like to do it. For me, I had a 8x10 sheet of paper filled out, front, back, into another sheet. I had a lot of stuff that I needed to do. And having it all written out at first was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to do all this shit in like 3 days. But I kept hearing my friends say, just start with number one. Just start. So that's what I did. I did number one and I checked it off. And it was so gratifying to be able to check that box off that it pushed me to do the next line and the next line and the next line. And after a couple of hours, I realized that I had like a good 2/3 of the front first sheet done. And I didn't even think I was going to get that much done over the 3 days, let alone in a couple of hours. That's what got me to the point at the end of last Friday where I had checked off basically the entire front sheet. And I was like, wow, that's way more than I thought that I would get done, period, over the next 3 days, let alone the first night. So that's why I stopped, because you got to know when to stop too. And I went downstairs and I had dessert and tea with my wife. I got up Monday morning and I attacked the rest of that list so that I had shit done before my team call, and I actually got everything off my lists done. Every box was checked, and that was a fantastic feeling because I got, again, like a month and a half worth of work done over those 3 days. And yeah, hey, give yourself a pat in the back when you deserve it. And I deserved it because I did a lot of stuff then after I relaxed. So thank you to my friend for getting me to gain some perspective on what needed to be done and how to do it. So here we are. Every day, more stuff has been piled on. And every day, I've been trying to get not only ahead, but done with my work for the year. And yet every day, more stuff gets piled on. And that's kind of life. Every day, you face new challenges, and you have to be able to deal with those challenges. Really, what it gets down to, and the reason that I'm doing this video, is because I've gotten a lot of perspective over the past 2 weeks, both of what's important, of prioritizing things, of listening to other people, of having to jump through the flaming grommet for other people, this, that, and the other thing, and there's 1,000 things to do, and da-da-da-da-da. Here's really what you need to do. However you draw a list up, you can use Notion, you can use Excel, you can use a pad and a pen, it doesn't matter. But you have to be able to list out everything that you need to do, however you want to do that. List it out, and then you need to be able to put those items into some form of a prioritized order. That's where it gets tricky, because you have to decide if you're going to do the stuff on this list according to your priorities or to everyone else's. And that is the key right there. I watch Archer all the time, and there's a particular scene in one of the things where they go in to talk to Rodney, who's in charge of like all the equipment and everything. And he has a little sign on his window. I'm going to read it because I know you can't see it. It says, "Lack of planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part." That hit home to me because I live in a world of other people's emergencies. And just because you haven't properly planned stuff or you've dumped stuff on people at the last second doesn't mean that I have to wreck my entire schedule to try to accommodate your shitty planning. I'm not just talking about my job. I'm talking just in general in life. How many times have people just expected you to drop everything to do what they want you to do? So I experience this all the time, especially in my day job. A lot of times people just expect, oh, okay, here's what needs to be done. And it needs to be done by this time. And it's like, well, what about the 14 other freaking things that I need to do? That's bullshit. I can't do that, you know? So what this gets down to is that when you're prioritizing your list, I don't give a shit what anyone tells you. You need to prioritize your list for you. That may include other people's priorities within that list, but you should know what needs to happen first. And that's what it gets down to, period. You have to be able to prioritize your life in a way that makes sense for you. Otherwise, you're just constantly, and I always say, you're constantly going to be jumping through the flaming grommet, meaning you're just running around on trying to stay ahead of the fire before it burns you. And most of the times you're doing that while you're on fire. Hopefully you think you're running fast enough that the flames won't burn you, but it doesn't always work that way, and you're going to get burned, or you're going to get burned out. Take my advice, please. Make yourself a list, one way or the other, but prioritize it how it makes sense for you. You'll be a lot happier, a lot less stressed if you do that. That goes for all this stuff. When I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think of what to do for a video, there's 1,000 ideas that have already run through my head that people have given me, that people want to see, that people want me to do, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, when it gets right down to it, I can't do everything, obviously. I mean, look at how infrequently I've posted in the past month. That's not because I don't want to. It's because I just don't have time. I have prioritized my life such that putting up YouTube videos has shifted down on the list because, again, this is the busiest time of the year for me with my day job, and shit needs to happen, and I need to make it happen. I didn't think that I was going to be without a computer for over 2 weeks, but it happened, and I had to shift some of those priorities around so that I could get stuff done, and here we are. That's all I really wanted to talk about today, and I wanted to give you examples of the chaos that I've been living in for a couple of weeks, just to sort of drive the point home, and that's why I'm so much more relaxed today. You can't tell, right? Because I'm like, oh my God. That's just kind of who I am. I'm a very excitable person. I'm very intense. I've had a bunch of people, like send me requests for things to do and blah, blah, blah. I know I said I was going to do a giveaway and all that kind of stuff. I just haven't had time to do any of that. And I just wanted to get this video up here so that you could sort of understand why I haven't been posting as much, even though I said I was going to post more. I just haven't had the time for it. And the priority has changed. All right, enough of me blathering on about that. Make a damn list, prioritize it how it makes sense to you, and then just start checking the boxes off one at a time, because that's all you can do. I know it's crazy right now. It's the holiday season. Some people loathe it, some people love it. Just do you, let other people do them. Try to enjoy yourself. That's all I got for you today. As always, thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. And remember, kids, forward and up.